Good morning.
Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our keynote speaker this morning, Yvonne Dellos.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the vainest of us all? We've heard that so many times, have we not? That what we do is vanity, Botox, fillers, plastic surgery. How superficial, how shallow. However, I disagree. I believe it is a privilege to alter the self-image of another individual, of another human being. I believe as clinicians, we have the power to transform our patients in front of us. And I want to share with you a great leader in our industry. Back in the 1960s, a facial plastic surgeon by the name of Maxwell Maltz came up with personal development. And what he said was the self-image is the key to human personality and human behavior. Change the self-image and you change the personality and the behavior. Yes. But the point is what really changed in her, right? Yes, she bumped her head, but really, once she changed her self-image, her whole life changed. The way she carried herself, the way she walked out into the world. So my question is to you, how many of you are living small, quiet lives, maybe because you don't feel confident going out into the world with big, bold energy? Because I know oftentimes our patients feel this way. They're coming into you, not for fine lines, not for fuller lips. They're coming in to you to have you share with them that they have every right to step out into the world as their big, bold, beautiful self. And I want to share a story of a patient that came in. This is 36-year-old Heather. She was actually sent into one of my trainings. Her mother wanted me to do a little bit of lip filler on her. And if you look here in the right lower corner of her mouth, she has volume loss. And as I was assessing her, she wouldn't look me in the eyes. And I tried to hand her the mirror and she wouldn't look in the mirror. And as I was asking her questions, I noticed that she would speak from that corner of her mouth. So I knew I needed to be a little extra gentle with this patient sitting in my chair. And as I continued to assess her and get down on her level and look her in the eyes, I said, Heather, what brings you in today? What is it I can help you with? What can I do for you? And as she opened up, she began to share with me her story. Now, I'm not sure if you are aware, but when humans communicate, only 7% is words. The rest is your interaction. It's the way you make your patients feel. Do you see them? Do you hear them? And are you connecting with them? So as she opened up, she shared with me that she has no teeth because she was a victim of domestic violence. Now that hit home to me because I watched my own mother be beat. As we treated her with just 2 syringes of filler, her whole image changed right in front of me. Now look again. Look at her here, not wanting to make eye contact. You can literally see the pain in her face, hiding, holding her light back from the world. And the privilege we have to alter another individual's self-image is life-changing. Her whole posture, her smile, her shine lit up the room. And that day, I had 6 students, 2 interns, an assistant educator, and myself. And when we saw this happen right before our eyes, we were all in tears. It was the most beautiful experience. And this reminds me of why we do what we do. Again, our patients come to us. Yes, we have a skill. We have techniques that we're here to perfect and to improve. There's research to show that what we do is impactful. But as we gather around the chair, remember that it's more than 7% of our words when we're connecting with our patients. And when we hand them that mirror, what are they really looking at? So I want to ask you really quick. Will you turn to your neighbor for me and say to yourself or say to your neighbor what you said to yourself this morning in the mirror? Can you do that for me? Does anybody want to share? Was it loving, inspiring?
Good enough.
Yeah, I say those things too. But I hope this really sticks with you when you hand your patient a mirror. Please know that we do so much more than Botox, fine lines, volume loss. We do so much more. So why did you become a nurse or a nurse practitioner? Was it for the credentials, the title behind your name? Was it to do procedures? Because I'm pretty sure it's something so much deeper. I believe it's a calling on our heart to serve humanity, to give back, to make the world a more beautiful place. So I came across this book, and I would share the author with you, but he did not put his name on the book. And he says, imagine that on the day you were born, a number was appointed above your head, representing the number of lives you were created to impact. It might be 3, or it might be 3 million. I don't know your number, but I believe there is one. And this number is your responsibility of the lives to impact. There is someone in this world, perhaps tomorrow or 20 years from now, whom you were created to be the light to. It could be a stranger on the street, a coworker across the hall, or a family member at dinner. Think about how many lives you encounter in some way or another, whether it's at the barista who prepares your coffee, the person behind you in the grocery store line, or the clients you interact with in meetings. How do you look at them, speak to them, or make them feel? Do you make them feel valued? Your interactions, no matter how significant or minor you might think, hold the power to make a difference in somebody's day and perhaps even in their life. Does this make you think differently about all the people that come sit in your chair? That's the perfect opportunity for you to impact them, to uplift them, and to inspire them. And the thing that I think is the most ironic is that those that really tap into this tend to be the most successful. The patients just flock to them because the energy and the way that provider makes them feel. They make them feel heard. They make them feel seen, so much more than just the lips and the lines. And that brings me to my story. When Jerry asked me if I would share my story, you saw the title to my book, From Food Stamps to Fortunes. And although this is a page from my book, if you were to look at my life now, not knowing what it took for me to get here, you would never guess where I came from. But okay, you might have a little clue from the title of my book. As I sit on my patio overlooking my pool, my favorite place to be, a place I created by my own design, figuratively and literally. I'm as giddy as a schoolgirl. I may not have $1 bazillion, but what I have is what I've always wanted. I am living a life by my design, fulfilling lifelong dreams and helping other women do the same. You see, when I was just 14, I was kicked out of my home from my stepfather, who really didn't like me. Having nowhere to go, having no way of getting in school, to go to school, I literally had to drop out of school. And I would find myself sleeping on anyone's couch that would let me in. And I remember one of my earliest memories, does anybody know what a food stamp is? I can laugh at that now, but that truly was my livelihood. Tara, my director, and I were talking about this, about those little tiny penny candy, the little raspberry ones. Do you remember those? because we were on the plane yesterday eating Swedish fish. And she's like, do you remember those little raspberries in here? It just flooded my mind. See, when I was younger, my mom would tear a $1 coupon from the food stamp coupon book, and she would send me into the gas station, and she said, you can have 3 penny candy and bring mom the change. I remember, I knew exactly where those penny candy were because this was very rare that I got to go into the gas station and get a treat. They would be right, as soon as I walked in the door, they were on the bottom left row, and they were in those little boxes, and the tear open, you could just pick up the red tongs and pull out a couple of those penny candy. I remember getting 1 Swedish fish, 1 red raspberry, and a Sour Patch Kid. And I clutched those 3 treats in my hand as I took my coupon to the counter. And I held my hand out for the 97 cents the gentleman would give me back to go put a gallon of gas in our car. When I got to 9th grade, my future was really hopeless. If I'm a dropout at 14 years old, what about my dream? I'd always wanted to be a cheerleader. How am I going to be a cheerleader if I'm not even in school? One day I walked into our local family clinic because I needed birth control and STD screening at 14 years old. And in there was a family nurse practitioner that completely changed my life because she saw me where no one else had seen me before. She showed me love and compassion. And as you can imagine, being 14 years old, your parents giving you away to the streets, doing all the things you shouldn't be doing, having sex and worried about an STD. This nurse practitioner looked at me with the most love and compassion. No judgment, no shame, just love. Now, that changed something in me at that moment. I had to get back into school because I wanted to be a cheerleader. Ironically, I got back in school and her daughter was on my squad, my team. And I never did return to home, but I ended up living in a trailer with 3 other 17-year-olds trying to find their way through life. They were all strung out on acid, and I was too afraid to do drugs. But I knew there was a voice in me that said, Yvonne, you've got to find better friends if you want a better life. And I thought, if I can be a cheerleader, I can be a nurse. Your destiny is written by your destiny isn't written by your conditions. It's written by your decisions. At 17 years old, I made the decision to not only find better friends, but I actually graduated school early and I moved clear across the country. I wanted to actually get as far away from my family and my upbringing as I possibly could. And I found my way into nursing school, again, because that one person saw something in me. He lit a little light, just bright enough for me to do something with myself. I'm the first generation on both sides to have a college education. It was so big to dream of being a nurse. I couldn't possibly think of being a nurse practitioner. I mean, like, that is a really big dream. But I did. I ended up becoming a nurse practitioner. And I had worked my way up from the snack bar as I was going through school to be an emergency room tech, to being a cardiovascular secretary, and 16 years in the hospital. And when I became a nurse practitioner, they said, sorry, you don't have any experience. We can't hire you. Like, what? So right then I was faced again with the decision. Yvonne, you can sit here and feel sorry for yourself, $150,000 in student loan debt, or you can go out and do something about it. So I started a clinic. I had no idea what I was doing. No idea. I didn't have a mentor. I had never worked with a physician. I'd never worked with anyone. I was right out of school. And I started Results Medical Aesthetics and Weight Loss in 2015. This was just when aesthetics was going mainstream because it was always in plastic surgery or dermatology, right? So I rented a room in a hair salon, $500 a month for this tiny little room. I just figured it out. And I failed over and over and over. I dropped brows. I failed over and over, but I kept going. And in 2018, again, something calling on me, the industry started to develop. started to grow, started to evolve, and there was a need to teach others how to do what I was doing. That I had to figure out Gene Carruthers' books. Thank you, Gene. I had to do a lot of learning, and I created Medical Aesthetic Art Institute and have been training nationwide ever since. Then in 2019, I became a national speaker and key opinion leader. Again, one spark evolves and grows, taking a little step, then you take bigger steps. And in 2019, I found a need in the industry. And I always say, when you find a need, turn it into an opportunity to serve and an opportunity to profit. This is the first registered trademarked emergency kit and training in the country. We have it in over 950 clinics across the US, Canada, and Europe. And I'm happy to say we're in contract to sell it to one of our students. In 2020, I had trained so many nurses and they didn't have a place to go. So I created a concept, a Botox bar and booth rental business where we would train up injectors, provide them a location of a room for $500 and help them on their journey of becoming a nurse injector and starting their own business. In 2021, we were voted Institute of the Year. And I will tell you something. In 2018, I had written on a vision card, I wanted to be amongst the best in the country, and I tacked it to my vision board. Now, as some might say that this is just, a hype or whatever it was just enough to give me one step in the right direction of doing more and of believing in myself, of believing that if I can come this far, why not keep going? So I started my own medical conference because for my own selfish reasons, I wanted to bring all my students back together as in a big, giant family reunion. Because as many of you're trainers yourself, aren't we so damn proud of our students, of going out and taking a chance on themselves and jumping in? I mean, each and every one of you have someone who taught you. That's why you're here today, is because of someone else. And so I wanted a place where all of these injectors could come, where they could meet new friends, where they felt heard, where they felt seen, where they felt like they belong. And you can see my dear friend, Dr. Weiner, one of my best friends, I am so grateful for. It's rooms like this that will change your life. So I really, really encourage you to make new friends. I call it the golden ticket. Someone in this room has your golden ticket. Your golden ticket to get to your next level or to your next dream or to your next awakening, whatever it might be, to help you through that next glass ceiling. Because imagine for a moment, a 14-year-old who was kicked out of her home, living on the streets and a dropout. Do you feel or believe that she would have the confidence to speak to a world-renowned plastic surgeon and become best of friends with a world-renowned surgeon? Not very likely, right? But the beautiful thing is, we're all human. Not one of us is better than another one. And we're all in this life trying to figure it out. So why not grab a friend, meet someone, and help each other on your journey? Reach back and pull someone else up. Be a mentor to someone and build your own community where you can empower and inspire those that you're leading. In 2020, so many had come to me and said, Yvonne, how did you do this? I'm trying to figure out how to start a business. I don't know what to do. I've taken trainings. Now what's next? So then I began coaching. Now I can teach you about business, but what I learned was the mindset is everything. Because if you want to play small and dim your light and hide behind insecurities, you're not going to make it in business. Right? Business can be tough. You have to have thick skin and you have to be confident and you have to make decisions and you have to lead. So I think my coaching has taught me more than it's probably taught my students, but it's been a beautiful experience for us both, I think, nonetheless. So in 2023, I rebranded Results Medical Aesthetics and Weight Loss. So after 8 years of a business that just kept growing and evolving naturally on its own, I made the decision to sell it to a student. This is her second location, Jen Ellison from Elle Aesthetics. And the agreement was she would keep all my employees and keep all my patients. And she has done that. In 2024, I made the decision to take Medical Aesthetic Art Institute to Las Vegas. And in 2024, I decided to start the Best of Yvonne podcast, where I can just give a little bit of light and a little bit of love through Spotify or YouTube. And then again, I saw another need where, ladies, we need to heal the sisterhood. As nurses, we were taught to eat our young, were we not? I want you to think back. If that nurse practitioner treated me like I was her young and she was there to eat me alive and chew me up and spit me out and tell me how unworthy I was, how dirty I was for a 14-year-old having sex and needing birth control, this would be a completely different experience, wouldn't it? Women need a place where we can gather and we can love and support each other. We aren't one another's competition. We are here to straighten one another's crowns so that we can make the world a better place. I was in the Uber last night, and this gentleman from Africa had moved here, started a family, and he was a new father. And I was asking him how his experience was. And he says, I call my mom and my sister all the time just to understand my wife. And I said, you know, your baby is a newborn. It's a baby. And what it knows is her heartbeat, her breath, her voice. I said, give it time and he'll want you too. But ladies, we are the mothership. We dictate the energy of humanity. I believe it is our responsibility to raise the next generation of women to be leaders, to be loving and respectful and kind to one another. So I created Her Success Summit. It's a women's conference, women teaching them how to be leaders, how to have a healthy mindset, how to reach back and pull up other women. And I hold this in Southern Utah every November. So I had no plans of writing a book. None. You guys, I cannot even spell to save my life. So if you follow me on Instagram and you see all those misspelled posts, those are mine. Those are not my assistants or my social media girl. Those are mine because I cannot spell. But I woke up one day and the title of the book was there. And I was like, okay, does this mean I'm writing a book? Now, I'm the kind of person where I believe that what you speak, you manifest. So I immediately had to put it out there in the world because I was like, okay, I need something to hold me accountable because I believe this is my next calling. And the title was there, From Food Stamps to Fortunes. Now, it's not about fortunes. It's not about money. It's about the fortunate life that I live today. Because one person honored their number above their head. That one person honored calling within them. And I created the accompanying journal. It's truly my journey of how I've gotten to where I've gotten. So how did I change my life? It was one person that lit a spark in me. It changed my self-image. Just like Maxwell Maltz said, when you change your self-image, you change your behavior. You start acting different. You start showing up in the world different. Just like we witnessed with Heather. 2 syringes. That's all. Or maybe it was that subconscious communication that I seen her, that I heard her. I felt her pain. I felt her pain because I watched my mother be beaten. I felt that. I believe we're so distracted that we're not feeling life. We're not feeling the true reason why our patients are coming to us. My ultimate goal is to impact lives, inspire change, and elevate humanity through the transformative power of mindset. Because to change your self-image, you must change your mindset. I had a poverty mindset. I have 5 sisters that still live with a poverty mindset, and I'm slowly helping them one at a time. Because I will tell you, when you change your mindset, you will be living the most beautiful life. It doesn't matter if you have the pool or the fancy cars. It's because that you see that you're making a difference and making progress with that number that's above your head. You see that you're making a difference and progress with those Heathers that are in your chair. Because one person honored that number. I call it pixie dust. In my book, I write about it. Your energy, your essence, you were born for a reason. Not for your own selfish reason. We are all in this together. Now, I want to share with you, I'm the neighbor of the young man that took Charlie Kirk's life. The energy in our hometown, I think it's the heaviest energy. His mother sat in my chair. I want you to remember why you chose this career path. I want you to go back home to your patients and see them, because we need one another. Humanity needs one another. And ladies, I'm asking you to shine your light so bright that this younger generation, starving for affection and love, that you set the example and you pave the way, that you impact all the lives that you're meant to impact. My community feels it. If you think of it, the world is like a puzzle. You are one special piece to that puzzle, and you affect all the people that are holding you. They're holding you in your puzzle piece. Are we failing the younger generation? This is the woman that changed my life, Susan Molman. She doesn't even know it. Last week, I found her daughter on Facebook, and I wish I could say that she made better choices for herself. She said to me, Yvonne, how are you so beautiful and so successful? What did you do? I changed my self-image. I changed my life because of your mother. Your mother changed my life. Your dreams may not come with an expiration date, but your life does. Are you living your life? I started living. I made the money. All I ever wanted was a full pantry. That's all I ever wanted. I wanted to be able to walk into a store and not look at a price tag. I know my suit looks like it's $1 million, but it's not. But I live every day, you guys. I wake up every day with butterflies in my belly of the possibility and the opportunity of who I'm going to meet, what golden ticket I can share or hand out. I celebrated my 48th birthday. I took a hot air balloon ride. I'm terrified of heights, but I'm here for a reason. My mother got pregnant with me on a one-night stand. I was told my whole life, you are a mistake. You are a mistake. You are not meant to be here. I think that's why it was so easy for her to throw me out on the streets at 14. So let's get honest with ourselves. If you are not doing something with your life, it doesn't matter how long it is. If you're not doing more than erasing wrinkles and plumping lips, does it really matter? This is a QR code if you want to learn more about me. I am giving away one free VIP ticket to her Success Summit, valued at $3,800. You may learn to golf. I'm going to be doing all the things. I don't know how to golf, so I want a golf clinic. Spa package. We have Tiffany Hall there speaking. We have the founder of Addie, the Pink Pill for Women, there speaking. I want to bring women together. It is my mission to make this world even more beautiful, one woman at a time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.